I wanted to look at, in some aspects, the situation that occurred in Aurora, Colorado, and particularly the effects of people sacrificing themselves for the sake of others. And when I watched the television interviews of psychologists who had their own quote authoritative opinions, which are not facts, but opinions that often can be fobbed off as facts about the situation. The one thing I noticed that was lacking, from my point of view, is that the people who gave up their lives for the people whom they loved, and that this sacrifice of oneself for the love of the other was a very prominent feature for me in terms of how they put themselves in harm's way in order to protect those whom they loved. It was seen by the people interviewed that it was an impulsive act, that it was an act of bravery, that it was something that was not easily explainable, and so forth. But if we link it to spiritual point, we can come to understand that this kind of act takes us back and has its precedent both in our spiritual tradition in the West, in which both Moses and Jesus seek to, out of an act of love, sacrifice themselves for the sake of the community. Out of their love for the community, they are giving up their own life for the benefit of the community as a whole, who would not be destroyed by some maybe egregious error that they made. So Moses asked God, for example, who was going to destroy the Israelite nation for committing an act that trespassed against the spiritual tenets of the tradition in the desert. And Moses says to God that, please take my life, and instead let them live. And Jesus, of course, sacrifices himself for the sake of the community so that the community can be saved. My teacher of blessed memory, Colette, her great-great-grandfather sacrificed himself in a community in North Africa, where he went and directly asked the invaders who wanted to destroy the community of Jews, asked that he be sacrificed so that the community would be saved, and would they agree to that? And they did, and they decapitated him, so that he put himself in the way of protecting the loved ones who were about to be destroyed. So I think that love is a very important element here to consider, and we might want to take that up in terms of how we look at anger, which is really an opposite of love, in truth. And so we know that these two emotional states don't operate and can't operate together in the same inner space in our existence. So one is the antidote to the other. Love is an antidote to anger, and anger thwarts our capacity to love. And so I'd like to take that up in a subsequent meeting with all